So my name is Jean Bubbly, and I am a volunteer with the Rescue Group for Animals. I manage our adoption center over here at NYC Pet.
I'm Charlotte Conley, and I started Astoria Cat Rescue in 2014. We've actually been managing colonies of cats in this neighborhood for 10 years.
My name is Tracy Berg, and I live in Astoria, and I work here at Astoria Cat Rescue.
A large part of what we do is TNR, which stands for Trap, Neuter, and Return, where we trap the cats in feral cat colonies, take them into the clinic, have them vaccinated, and have them spayed or neutered, and then return them to their colonies.
You name it, we do it. We feed over 150 cats a night, including the cats that live here in the facility.
Daily operations is a bit of pandemonium. It's taking care of the rescue animals in the house and outside of the house, buying enough food to feed all of the animals in our colonies, which are now like 180 animals a night we feed, plus the 30 that are inside that we've rescued.
So yeah, the pandemic has had a big effect on us in a lot of ways.
The biggest way is the fact that the ASPCR closed. The ASPCR closed right at the height of kitten season, and they were closed for a few months, and kittens were just being born like crazy all over Astoria, all over Queens.
The worst part is the ASPCA closing down the freeze spay neuter process, because we cannot afford to pay the extraordinary prices of normal vets to spay and neuter.
So we took in a lot more cats than usual this past spring, especially in March, trying to get the cats before they gave birth, because that's around the time when kitten season starts, or the cats start getting pregnant, and then 60 days later, boom, you have kittens.
And it's definitely a lot more this year than it ever was.
There have been suffering animals all over the streets because of that.
Seeing a lot more kittens and exhausted mom cats who are ending up as roadkill. Even now that the ASPCA clinics are open again, they have very limited capacity.
When they did open back up again, they opened up at very small capacity. I'm going to say 10%. There's about 1,800 rescuers vying for spots to have their cats fixed.
So yeah, the numbers have really expanded, and the number of kittens especially. I have 5 new kittens upstairs that need to find homes.
Also, because of the pandemic, we had to close our little adoption center at NYC Pet for a few months. The cats attract a crowd, and that, of course, was something that we wanted to avoid. Well, actually, we were fortunate enough to get the cats who were there right before the lockdown, all adopted.
People seem to have time on their hands, and we're getting more interest in fostering and adoptions and volunteering.
As people, they would come in and say, I'm going to be working at home for at least the next 3 weeks. Little did anybody know how long it would be, but adoptions actually went up quite a bit, and they've stayed fairly high.
A lot of businesses were closing, like a bodega that might have a cat. The cat would wind up on the street.
With our colonies, we've seen a huge growth in the numbers of cats, full-grown cats that have just been dumped near our colonies. Some people will take a cat that they know where there's food being given, or if we have shelters, like some of our areas we feed, we're able to put some warm shelters.
So we were doing a lot of rescues for a lot of friendlies, we call them friendlies, that that they belong to somebody, but they were let go because they couldn't afford to feed them anymore for whatever reason.
There's been higher demand for adoption. There's also been people who have to give up their pets.
We have had just exponentially expanding calls for help, and from all over the place.
I try and help them as best I can by telling them if the cat is safe, if the cat is in a backyard, if the cat has shelter, it has some place it can hide from the elements. If you're feeding the cat, The cat's halfway to having a better life already. The best thing that you could do for it is just keep feeding it and fix it as soon as the ASPCA get back in touch with us once the ASPCA opens again.
We go to every single call that we get for help, or we find someone in that neighborhood that we know can help them.
We have one guy, Jesse, who we actually got before the lockdown started. We got a call about a sick cat under a porch. We got there, and this poor little cat, he just was in terrible condition, and it turned out he had stomatitis, which is an autoimmune disorder that attacks the plaque on teeth. And so the cat's whole mouth becomes infected. We took him to the vet, and she removed all his teeth, which is the most effective treatment for stomatitis. He's been doing much, much better since then, and he just got adopted last week. So we're very excited for Jesse.
Oh yeah, I've had the two cats were born here, Zoe and Zippy, and they're just lovely. They're twins. They're really, really great. They all have different characters, just like people, and so you get to know their characters and how annoying they can be, or how funny they can be, and entertaining they can be. The thing that makes you go out every night is that they come to you, and they come running with their tails up, waiting. They've been waiting there all day for their food. They only eat once a day, and you know that if you don't go there, they go back and they hunker down with nothing, you know, and so you can't not go. So it's a trap, an emotional trap.
Everything is unusual this year. There are a lot of grassroots, small rescues like us in the city, and I think they're all struggling extra this year.
We need as many volunteers and donations as we can possibly get.